In the previous episode, I squeezed into my wetsuit and went for a swim. I knew that the water was going to be cold, but it was far colder than I expected. After warming up in a hot shower, Winston and I then went in search of the otter that the campsite is named after, but the only thing we saw was rusty machinery. But we now continue on our 64-day Hebridean island adventure. Good morning. So it's currently about 10:30. I haven't filmed anything this morning. This is the first time I picked up the camera, and that's because I've been packing away because today is moving day. So we're moving from the Isle of Benbecula north up to North Uist. So we were on South Uist first, now we're in Benbecula, now we're going to North Uist. Now I didn't film any packing away because for some reason I just had this feeling that everyone was watching me this morning, because everyone was out and kind of just sat around and chilling and enjoying the morning, and I was packing away and I felt as though all eyes were on me. It was a little bit uncomfortable. They probably weren't watching me, they probably couldn't give two hoots, they're probably going about their own business, but you know when you just have that feeling? So yeah, I felt a little bit, I didn't want to be filming, I just kind of wanted to get done. But that did mean that I packed away in record time. So I've got about half hour to kill before we set off. So I'm just giving Winston a little walk. Now the timings had to be quite, I want to say critical, but critical is a little bit intense. But we have had to time it today because we need to leave this campsite by 11. We can't arrive at the next campsite until 12. Google says the drive is 35 minutes, but it's probably going to be more like 45 to 50 minutes with the caravan. And then at 11:30, I need to be available for a phone call. So that means I've got to drive, so I'll probably leave here at 11, drive, find a parking spot, so that then I'm available to take the phone call at 11:30. And then once that's done, I can continue on to the next campsite, which means that I will arrive after 12. So hopefully it'll all go to plan. The thing that I'm most concerned about is finding a parking space, because you can't park in a passing place, and I haven't really seen any other parking opportunities en route. So fingers crossed we can find somewhere to put a van and a caravan, because it's not short. So I've got to park 8 meters, so we shall see. But yeah, that's what happened this morning, and that's the plan for today. So now seems like a good time to give you a tour of Otters Edge Campsite on the Isle of Benbecula, which is sandwiched between South Uist and North Uist, and it was the 6th campsite of this trip. So we stayed at the end of May, beginning of June in 2024 on a hard-standing electric pitch for 4 nights. And that cost me a total of £108, which averaged about £27 per night. Now, out of the 16 campsites that I had booked for this trip, this campsite was the 7th most expensive. Now, alongside the usual facilities, it also had a great break room with a toaster, a kettle, a microwave, a fridge, etc. Now, sadly, I never got to film this because every time I went to do it, the room always had people in it taking refuge from the bad weather. And not everybody wants a camera in their face and to be posted on the internet. So that's the campsite tour done, and it's now time to leave. So Winston is a rescue dog, and when I got him, he used to hate travelling in the car. I remember sitting in the driver's seat throwing treats out of the door just to get him to come within a couple of meters of the vehicle. Now, he still hates it if you try to physically put him inside or if he has to ride in the back, but he's now more than happy to jump in the front seat, and yes, he does have a seatbelt. Got to stick a leg out for balance. And off we go.
Child, I know you're hurt and you can't let go. It's not your fault and you don't deserve all the bad and the hurt. I know you tried so hard. I know you've done your part. It's not fair. You did your time. How much longer will you suffer in this life? But don't give up. Just hold on tight. It'll be alright. Your life you've tried to be a good man inside. Did everything that you thought you should. Didn't seem to do you any good. I know you've tried so hard. I know you've done your part. It's not fair. You did your time. How much longer will you suffer in this life? But don't give up. Just hold on tight. It'll be alright. So hard. I know you've done your part. It's not fair. You did your time. How much longer will you suffer in this life? But don't give up. Just hold on tight.
So I've left the pod in a lay-by. I don't know if you can see her back there, but it is a lay-by. It's not a passing place because it's on a two-way road. But when I was looking at my map, I saw that there is like an abbey ruin around here. That's like a 10 or 15 minute walk from where we're parked. So that's what we're doing. Winston's off leading the way as usual. But that should mean I can have a little wander, wait for my phone call. I'll stop, take the phone call, we can see the abbey, and then by the time we get back to the pod, that should be enough time to get to the next campsite just after check-in. So that's perfect. I love it when a plan comes together. Oh, I can't do this. I've got him in one hand, camera in the other. I need my hands, sorry. Right, we're through. That's as artistic as you get from me. That was a shot. Now, once I'd taken my phone call, we went inside to have a look around, but once again I couldn't open the gate and hold the dog and film all at the same time. So this is Trinity Temple. Now, I'll put its official name on screen, but I'm not going to try and pronounce it because a lot of people who watch my videos seem to get very angry when I pronounce things incorrectly. The ruin started its life as a church dedicated to the Holy Trinity in the 12th and 13th century. Then, in the 14th century, it was extended into a college of learning. Now, my research said that it was then destroyed, but restored again in the 19th century, but also that it was still used for worship in 1728. I also found notes that there was a house connected to the church by a vaulted passageway. But overall, this place has got a little bit of a mixed history. So its uses include a church, a monastery, and a college. So that was some lovely, relaxing music. But now here's some music that is more of my personal taste. Now again, I've lost some driving footage, so I can't show you my arrival to the campsite. A lot of my files have been corrupted as they were getting uploaded to Dropbox. But thankfully, I also saved my vlog footage on an external hard drive, including this shot of me nailing a straight line reverse. Now, it is harder than it looks, especially with a short caravan, because it reacts much quicker. So you can see here that the caravan is unlevel and it needs the right side lifting. Now for this I use my motor mover, so that metal wheel that is pushing up against the tyre. Once it's on, I release the handbrake. I put a levelling block under the tyre that I want lifting, and I drive it forward using the motor mover. I then put chocks under the opposite wheel to stop it from sliding. Put the handbrake back on and then release the motor mover. And we are level, or should I say leveler. I probably raised the right side a little bit too much, but that's the side to side done. I then level front to back by raising or lowering the jockey wheel. So we have arrived and pitched, and this looks like a really nice campsite. Now I believe this is either in a nature reserve or surrounded by a nature reserve that is run by the RSPB. Now that's a little bit wasted on me because I'm not really into birds. I mean, if I see an interesting bird, I'm like, oh, that's interesting, and then that's kind of it. I don't get excited by them, and I don't know the different types of birds, so I do feel as though it's wasted a little bit on me, but it does look like a very nice campsite. The only other thing I would note is that where my pitch is, straight outside my door, the view is of, let me just pop out here, if you can see, a graveyard. That's my view. I could sit on my bed or at the table, look out the porthole and see a graveyard. So that's interesting. Now I am pitched on a hill, which I'm a little bit concerned about because it's okay at the moment, but for the next few days it's forecasted high winds. Although in saying that, when I look around the campsite, it is generally quite flat. I am up like a little bit higher than everybody else, but not much, so it's not like as though they could pitch me anywhere else. So we just have to get ready to face some winds. They're not terrible. I think they're only like 20-25 mile an hour, nothing like the 40 mile an hour winds we had down in Barra, so we'll be fine. But yeah, I am on a bit of a hill. The only other thing I would note as well is that when I arrived, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I know that this campsite has a food truck on it. So I planned to have some lunch from that food truck when I got here, because getting up and packing away and driving and pitching again, it's all tiring and you're just absolutely starving and you don't want to cook anything. But knowing my luck, the food van isn't here, it's actually waiting event. So I am going to have to cook something, and I have got myself some red pepper and 3 bean chilli with some brown rice, and then I've got some shortbread fingers to have as a dessert with a cup of tea. So I've just included this footage here to help break up my rather long monologue, but we will get back to what I was saying in just a moment. But now let's just talk about shortbread biscuits. Can anyone recommend a good brand of shortbread? Now I like my shortbread to be really short. I want to bite into it and feel it crumble up in my mouth. And I find that the only way to get a biscuit that is that short is to bake it myself. Does anybody know of any good brands where I can purchase that type of shortbread biscuit? I would be very grateful if anyone can recommend one. But now let's get back to me waffling. Now, there's only one other thing that I want to talk about when it comes to this campsite. And I don't quite like it, but I know that this campsite charges you for the showers. So this morning when I got up at the Otters Edge Campsite, I had a shower this morning, even though I usually shower in the evenings. Because the showers here are £1. £1. I don't know, maybe I've just not adjusted to inflation or the prices, but does that not seem expensive? So I was trying not to judge this morning, because I was like, they might be fantastic showers, you might get a long time for that £1, etc. And then when I pulled in today, I was in reception and they noted, don't forget to take your £1 coin for the showers. And I was like, I can't believe you're charging £1 for the showers. I said, how long do you get? And he said, 7.5 minutes. 7.5 minutes? What are you doing in 7.5 minutes? I couldn't wash my hair in 7.5 minutes. Shampoo, condition, plus like clean my body, wash my face, all that stuff in 7.5 minutes. I would need £2 for that. So, yeah. I mean, the Orcaba campsite that I stayed at down in the Yorkshire Dales, which was the first campsite of this trip, they charge 50p for 10 minutes. This place charges £1 for 7.5 minutes. Now again, let's try not to judge too much. The showers might be fantastic. We'll have to wait and see. I also can't remember how much I paid for this campsite. If this campsite's really cheap, then yeah, okay, you can warrant the £1 per shower. But if this campsite is expensive, or it's still charging the going rate of all the other campsites that I've stayed at, then I think it's a little bit of a rip-off. I'll have to have a look. What I'll do is I'll put it on screen and then you guys judge. Tell me in the comments, what do you think? With this price, which I'm going to put here, that they're charging per night, would you expect showers to be included? Or would you be happy to pay £1 for 7.5 minutes? Let me know. Okay, so looking at this now that I know the prices, I could spend £2 per day in the showers and the cost would work out the same as the previous campsite. Although in saying that, I would still just prefer to pay a flat campsite fee. And then I wouldn't have to worry about getting coins, remembering to take them to the shower, or to have to faff around with timers whilst I'm in the shower. And don't forget, I'm travelling on my own. This would work out more expensive if you had multiple people travelling with you. So if you think of a family of 4, that's going to be an extra £4 per day. So Winston and I have had an afternoon nap, and I know this might sound crazy, but I think I've got a little bit of sunstroke. I don't think it's been that sunny, but maybe the wind just makes it feel cooler and kind of camouflages the sun's effects. But all my face is getting really badly sun damaged, even though I've been putting my sun cream on. So anyway, I've just reapplied it, and we're now out on the beach. This is directly opposite the campsite. Now, because the campsite's in a nature reserve, there's a lot of places you can't let the dog off the lead because it's RSPB nature reserve, and they've got all those ground nesting bird things. But on the beach down here, the guy at reception said he was allowed off lead. So that's cool, I'm happy. He's got somewhere to go off lead. If you want to do a nature trail, then he's got to be on the lead. I'm happy with that. That's nice and fair. So that's what we're doing. We're just on a little beach walk at the moment, and we're going to have a little mooch around the campsite, kind of figure out where everything is, because I just got pitched, I had something to eat, I did a bit of work, and then I went to sleep. So yeah, it's about 6:30 now. Have a little mooch around the campsite. I've still got some work left to do, and then early night, I think. Busy day tomorrow. The state of your thing. Look at the state of your thing. Look here. I got to sleep with you. Look at the state of you. Good boy. Okay. Should we go get some food? Come on. Now, a wet dog walking through loose sand is not a good combination, and Winston got his own set of sand booties. So before going back to the pod, we went for a little walk down the grass so that he could shake off some of that sand. Spares or repairs? Where are we going, Winst? So I think there's more spares and repairs over there, and I also think there's one in that back pen. Do they not have a We Buy Any car on this island? Okay, first. So that little white dot on the hill is a viewing platform, and apparently on a really clear day you can see the island of St Kilda. Now, we were going to go to that to see if we could see St Kilda, but firstly we don't really have the weather for it, and secondly I've read the reviews to say that the telescope that is there that you can view the island with is broken. So you have to take binoculars in order to see the island. I don't have binoculars, so hence there's no point in us going. We're just going to go there and not be able to see it. And after another long day, it was time for tea.